becoming really difficult. The investigation, the long process, the checks as often as possible. Yes, the patient might be in a hurry. I've made so many mistakes. Second guess yourself, go back, check properly. Luckily and thankfully the patient hadn't taken it. Nudge that a pharmacist gets. It's in the best interest of the patient to have it. Just because they know the medicine or just because they know what they want to use it for doesn't mean they're right. You're the one with the knowledge in it. Hi everybody, hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ambisi. So I'll be talking about my experience in the last week or 2 weeks, depends on when I post this video. I'll be talking about CD checks, methadone. I'm looking down on bullet points or whatever. CD checks, mistakes I've made, methadone checks, methadone handouts, night nurse, dispensing errors, the whole COVID experience with doctors, GP practice, and patients. In summary, a few things I've pointed out. I'm hoping to do a more comprehensive video in regards to being newly qualified, what to expect, what might happen, or the kind of things that you encounter. So yeah, let's get started. For CD checks, for the pharmacy I work at, we usually do our CD checks every week. We try to do it. Presently, it's becoming really difficult because of the whole situation around COVID, but we still try to do the CD checks as often as possible. But while doing it, I've made quite a few mistakes. I think there was one time that a CD was handed out, but I forgot to put it in the CD register. For the first few weeks, I've made so many mistakes in regards to CD, and so you can't cancel out. So you see underneath the footnotes region or whatever, I have loads of corrections. I have like missed out dates or not concentrating. You really need concentration when it comes to recording your CDs. How we do it in our pharmacy as well. For prescriptions that we've handed out, during dispensing process, for CDs that need to be entered or general CDs as well, the support team usually highlight it and make sure that is noted so that after handout, people are aware that, okay, this is a CD, so hand it to the pharmacist to enter it. But sometimes it gets missed out. And also something else that we do is after it's being handed out and after I register it into the CD register, I usually mark it with CD entered and I put the date beside it, because we get quite a few patients coming into the pharmacy to get the prescription CD, prescription drugs. You might be working on the prescription or trying to enter it, and all of a sudden you're distracted or somebody talks to you, and so doing that makes you know that, okay, you've entered the CD. Sometimes I forget to do it, so I've had a few days that I forgot to write CD entered, and then it gets marked out again when it's being counted. At the end of the day, my colleagues, when counting the script, they kind of tell me, oh, did you enter this into the CD register, because I haven't marked it. And sometimes I've entered it, but because they flagged it up, I can still go back and check just in case. Another mistake I discovered today, actually, I think it was methylphenidate or something. It was one of those drugs that firsthand, it's easy to forget that, oh, you actually record it in the CD register, because it's not like the morphine, it's not like oxycodone, it's not like those other drugs and the brands that you register that you sort of remember that, oh yeah, you need to register it. But this one's like lixidephetamine, I'll put the name somewhere. It's something that you can easily miss off that you need to register. So I think it's Concerta for methylphenidate, the generic one for dexamphetamine, and a whole bunch of them. So few months back, and this was already given to the patient, but going through CD balance, I discovered that it wasn't entered into the CD register, so I had to not backdate, but sort of that asterisks. So CD balance is actually advisable to do every week if you can. If you're a busy pharmacy, it's difficult obviously to do it like every week, but if you can do it 2 weekly, it depends on the company. They might insist on, obviously now there's that leverage of you can do it once a month, but still we're trying our best, we're trying our best to make sure that's at least once a week, because doing it once a week, I've seen that, okay, it really helps, because sometimes you miss out on things, you've not checked some of it if you hand out so many or different types of brands of your CDs. Methadone is another one that you should look out for. all this, you know, CD as a whole, obviously they told you about it, you're spoken to about it, about the how crucial it is and how likely it is to get into trouble if things are not adding up, the whole reporting as well. If you have less than what it is, or if you report less and it's not accounted for, you're meant to report to the authorities and it needs to be investigated. For your CD checks, you do really want to pay attention to it. You don't want to just do it haphazardly, which has happened in some cases for me, but luckily I've figured out my mistakes and I've been able to correct them. Like, I've just given some examples. So back to methadone. Methadone, obviously some of you know what it is. Now presently it's being handed out as bulk bottles, and so it's easy to try to do the maths in your head. That happened to me actually. A certain patient was prescribed a certain amount. This is just an example, 5,000 mils, and they come in 500 bottle. But in my head, I calculate twice the amount. Because I'm using my head, you can get into trouble. If peradventure it was taken out and you hand it out without double checking with somebody, cross checking with somebody, it's easy to just make that mistake and give your patient more than is required. For CDs, try your best to be in it at that moment. It's very easy to make a mistake. I've been told already that reporting it is something that is the least thing that anybody wants to get into, of the investigation, the long process. And so your best bet is spend more time checking than hurriedly serving the patient and okay, yes, you've gotten it to the patient. Sometimes it can be really like unsettled. If you're a Prereg that you did a Prereg in a place that you had little or no methadone patients, you obviously don't know what it is. But if you're in a new pharmacy as a newly qualified and you have loads of patients that are on methadone, then this is something that you should sort of know, that sometimes they try to pressure you in the sense of always peeking through the window and like blackout people. At the end of the day, if anything happens or if things go wrong, you're the responsible pharmacist and it's you that they would ask to answer to whatever has gone wrong. And if within you, like you're about to hand out and you're thinking, did I miss something out? Because that happens to me a lot. Did I miss something out? Have I done something wrong? Go back. Yes, the patient might be in a hurry and whatnot, but the patient's safety is at risk. You as well, you're at risk as well. So it's best for you to second guess yourself. Go back, check properly and make sure that you've got the right calculation. The amount you're handing out to the patient, especially for methadone. That also falls under dispensing errors. You'll make lots of mistakes, or not loads of mistakes, quite a handful of mistakes. But if I can just point out one in regards to CD as well, getting used to the brand names can be a bit tricky. That happened to me too. So you have Long Tech, you have Zomorph, you have Short Tech, you have Equasin, loads of different brands, and sometimes the GP or the prescriber, they prescribe with the drug name. You have MST continuous as well, and if you're not aware of what the drug is, check properly, because people say, okay, morphine might be, you can pick out Long Tech, but Long Tech is oxycodone and Short Tech is oxycodone. Zomorph, obviously that's obvious, Zomorph. And MST is obvious, Oxypro, it's obvious. But for this ones of Long Tech and Short Tech, it's easy to make a mistake out. I've had a similar dispensing error in that regards of Long Tech. It was prescribed morphine, but what was handed out was, so yeah, that needed to be reported, because as a dispensing error, we reported it to the whole process. Hopefully I'll be able to go through that. Luckily and thankfully the patient hadn't taken it, and so that was good. So when I get this sort of script that's been prescribed using the drug name, I usually confirm what the patient usually gets and I write the brand name beside it. But the dispensing error that took place had to do with Long Tech, oxycodone, Zomorph, morphine. So the wrong brand name was written beside the drug name. Long Tech was written beside the morphine instead of Zomorph. Quantity as well, not in regards to CD now, just regular. You have split packs, sometimes it's not marked out properly. Eye drops and eardrops. The fridge item, eardrops, eye drops. This was a case of 10 ml, 10%. 1% and whatnot, it got reported. Dispensing errors are to be reported as much as possible. Do report them just in case. I was scared at first in the whole reporting. I know generally say, oh no, it's the system of open and fair. I think in the MEP we can remember fair and open reporting system or whatever, that no one is to be blamed. It's like a teamwork. No one needs to be pointing out, okay, you did this is your fault. That by reporting it, people are learning from it, you are learning from it as well, and it avoids some other measures of, okay, the patients are like, okay, this happened, or takes it further and you did not report it. It's like, why didn't you report it? Then I just wanted to touch on the whole COVID and prescribing. You might be watching this video at this time or at the times we're in, or you might watch it at a later date, but I'll just add this because this is what has happened in the past few days in regards to COVID. So we've had patients being sent to us from the surgeries are sort of referring them to, oh, go to the pharmacy, we have a blood pressure mission. I was really tempted in the sense of empathy to go ahead and check the blood pressure for this patient when it was like, okay, I was putting myself at risk. There's been a rule of keep that distance. I had to go and ask like just to be firm or help. I was feeling bad obviously because as a patient I wanted to help because that's the nudge that a pharmacist gets, I believe. But anyway, so politely told her that, oh sorry, can't at the moment and whatnot. And then there was the mouth check. Someone that came in, the dentists aren't open. So this person came into the pharmacy. Before I could talk, literally they were like heading into the consultation room. So I just had to follow through. I was trying to keep like my 2 meters distance and it was like, wasn't possible. I kept hitting my back. I just brought it up because as a newly qualified pharmacist, you need to be assertive in the decisions you're making, even the things that you do not want to do. It's easy to be timid and shy and be like, okay, do I do it? And to want to be on the good side or on the lovely side. But at the end of the day, if you put yourself at risk, especially in this state of the pandemic, then that's not a good thing. You do want to look after yourself as well as your patient. If you're okay, your patients are okay. If you look after yourself, your patients, your colleagues are okay as well. Because if you're putting yourself at risk, you're also putting your colleagues at risk. Do you understand? One last thing about night nurse. Night nurse and cough medicines have been like going fast. Night nurse is not a sleeping tablet. It's not a sleeping tablet. I've had to turn down quite a few. They come in and be like, oh yeah, I can't sleep, so I need night nurse. Oh no, sorry. Night nurse is not a sleeping tablet. It's for cough, it's for flu. Yeah, I think this time as well, people are kind of using what they can get in order to help them sleep. So do not be tempted to sell it often and try and make notes of the people that usually come. I am working in pharmacy that the colleagues sort of pick this up quickly. And also, even if you're not asking for night nurse that often, check how much often they're asking for nighttime. Medicine abuse can come in different forms. It doesn't have to really be those addictive like those ones that we keep in the CD cupboard. It can be Gaviscon. So you have the right to actually refuse to sell medicine. That's what I'm trying to get at. If your professional judgment, according to the standards of the whole GPHC thing, if based on your professional judgment you think that it's in the best interest of the patient not to have it, then you are right to refuse to supply certain medicine. If you think, okay, no, that's not good for you, no, you can't have it. Just because they know the medicine or just because they know what they want to use it for doesn't mean they're right. You're the one with the knowledge in it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. This is just all I wanted to chat about. I'll definitely go into detail when I've spent about 2-3 months working as a newly qualified, experienced different scenarios. I've had questions in that regard and I will definitely address it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment. Until next time, my name is Ambi C. Ezen.